Hey folks, this is the TMI, Too Much Information live stream with Moondog. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to have a special show where we're going to be giving away some prizes during and at the end of the show, and hopefully with some presents from Discovery Optics, who is giving away one of the prizes. Now, a little bit of I'm Asia, so hopefully that's what I'm looking forward to anyway. But let's get started by just talking about some of the things that has gone on during the week. And for those of you who haven't had a chance to see the newest footage that I posted up last week, I got a chance to go to my first 1,000-yard match. Now I've shot at 1,000 yards before, where at a SHOT Show where they have media range day, where they let the media and folks go test out rifles. So I've rung steel at 1,000 yards, but I've never actually seen a competition. And the nearest place that actually has a competition is like 3 or 4 hours from me. So it's not something I do usually. So it was a treat for me to get the chance to go out there, and I was invited by one of the competitors. So I just wanted to film. This is the from Sacramento to the field, to the range. This is in Slough House, California. And the equipment that the shooters bought were very impressive. That's my buddy James who invited me. And there's Mark Majesta, the scope I reviewed recently. So the blue on that bullseye is 3 inches wide. Let me know what you think of this video. All right, so that's the that's footage that that I filmed while I was there, and I was invited by the club, which was part of Freedom Benchrest. Really great group of folks, and if you haven't seen it, I've got the full video posted on my 2A channel, which has interviews with some of the shooters out there, and they're just really good, friendly bunch of folks from a bunch of different backgrounds and a lot of different skill levels. There was one lady who saw there who just started shooting 7 years ago, only 7 years ago, and only started shooting long range 3 years ago. But it's not like, so there were the folks like me who had been shooting all their lives, and like an older gentleman, so he certainly got a few more years on me in terms of experience, but he'd been shooting all of his life, shotguns, BB guns, everything you can shoot, and only recently got into long range shooting. So you got a whole wide range of folks. Speaking of a wide range of folks, we got a wide range of folks on the chat. So it's great that everybody's here. And actually, we also have Hillbilly who's in the green room helping me out, point out all the folks. So let me just go through some of the comments we have here. I'll start with the most recent one. Moondog, do you know Half Mile Sniper? He has a channel and does some distance shooting here in California. No, I don't know Half Mile Sniper. I would like to get I would like to reach out to him. So if you happen to know him, Mark, send me a link. I'll happy to get a hold of him. He probably shoots a shot at a match over at Sac Valley. There aren't very many that I know of. There aren't many ranges that do 1,000 yards or a mile. There's a couple of ranges that I do know, but they're not very many that do a mile or half mile shooting. So yeah, I would love to check that out now. And just want to take a moment here to just call out Hillbilly for his assistance and help in all of this. All right, let's go to the top here and see who's here today. We've got Will, we got Hillbilly, of course, we got Mark Thomas, we got Kentucky Rimfire Hobbies, we got Big Racer, we have Garage Guy. Hey, how's it going? And hey, Charles Pinion. And we have JH586. We have Juan Vargas. And I think and we have Boomstick or Fuku YT. So how's it? So I am going to be giving away a few things, by the way. So if you haven't gotten them, what I want you to do, for those of you who are regular viewers of Hillbilly's channel, you know the drill. So what I'm going to have for the first live prize, we're going to be giving away a swag bag from guns.com. This is from these are in the bag. We've got some patches from SHOT Show. Got a coaster from Winchester, lots of cool swag from SHOT Show. So I'm going to give that away to one of the winners here tonight. So all you have to do is put in hashtag guns, GUNS, and get those in, and I'll be doing a drawing in a few minutes for that. Now, just want to get back to the bench rest. I'll be posting up links for any of you who are watching this after the live stream that would like to be interested in finding out more or competing at Freedom Benchrest there in Sac Valley or Slough House, California, which is just outside of Sacramento. I'll include links in. You can find a link to my full history.com. That way, it'll be easier to post up all the links. But you'll find a link to that article in the video description for the live stream when I post that onto my channel. And you can find contact information for James and for Freedom Benchrest for those of you who are interested in getting into it. And by the way, for those of you who hadn't seen the full-length video, I did end up shooting at 1,000 yards. I was invited by, as it turns out, the winner of the match invited me. I didn't know it. He didn't know it at the time, but he invited me to sit down and shoot his rifle, which was a very nice rifle, obviously. And I managed to get all 10 shots of mine inside of the 6-inch target, and a good half of them inside of the bullseye. So that's a good 3-inch target. So as Jamie had pointed out, that's less than an MOA. So yeah, I was very proud to be able to hit that. Of course, I've only got a small. I only deserve a small portion of that success, because obviously that was a really nice gun, and really dialed in load that was created so, for that distance. And I just sat down, and everything was all set up for me. All I had to do was do the fundamentals that anybody who's shot bench rest, even with a rimfire like me at 100 yards, just follow through, relax your body, get all squared up, get that stock into your shoulder, get comfortable, get a good cheek weld, all the fundamentals, breathe, and slow, steady trigger pull. So even with a 22 rimfire, you could get the skills that would be required to compete. Of course, then you'd have to get all the equipment. That's a whole nother that's a whole nother topic. But some of the gear on those tables that you saw, just the scopes alone probably are worth more than my entire gun collection. So yeah, it's one of those subgenres in our sport, in our interest, that how do you show that you're retired and your kids are out of college and out of the house without telling me? Yeah, you get into bench rest or F class. So that was yeah, that's a lot. That's a big, deep rabbit hole I don't want to step towards at the moment. But yeah, hey, we've got a few more add-ons. We got Chris. Hey, how's it going? So wanted to also talk about something that's happened on my channel recently, and I'm gonna share a let's see. I wonder if I could share this link. I don't think I can, because I have one of my tabs opened. I'll have to close that one and stop screen. I'll have to share. What happened is, what I was noticing on one of my channels is I'm getting these weird set of comments on my channel, and I don't know if it may or may not be all that relevant to post up on their stuff onto YouTube, but maybe you might have noticed it in some of the channels that you watch, is that there have been these strange postings. Here, I'll show you here. I'm going to share this screen, and this is one of my videos that's for a CV Life 4 reticle red green dot. It's a reflex sight, and it's one of the first videos I ever posted. Like, as you can see, it's 3 years old. So for those of you who don't know, I only started the channel like three and a half years ago. But I'm going to sort this by most recent comments. But if you can see here, here's one from Louis Sothey G2G Loa Vista. Okay. Here's another one. Ledner Fork from Walter Harrell, from Spencer Dura, Ubaldo Branch, and it just goes on. Galdwin Falls from Harlan Forgach, from Ariel Barber, Blick Garden, Kurt Inlet, goes more port, blah, blah, it just keeps on going. And you can see it just keeps on going. And sometimes these look like place names, like maybe, there's some place in the world, or maybe they're street names. But you can see it just keeps on going. And sometimes I'll get just a random group of names. I'm trying to see if I could show you an example here. Here we go. Jones, Michael, Young, Michelle, Hernandez, Jennifer. And that looks like maybe they're tagging folks. And I thought maybe they're tagging folks, like, hey, they want to show your friends. You know how you do that on social media. You put an @ symbol and you put your friend's name on there. But no, they're not. because there's no @ symbol on there. And it goes on. I mean, there's like, for that one video, I've been getting in the last 2 weeks since this started, or 3 weeks now, I've been getting like 100 different posts like that. And obviously to me, it's a spam, they're spam bots, but it leads me to question, why are they posting onto this particular video? And so I've been asking around some other YouTubers out there, and yeah, they've been getting the similar thing. And it started, like, for them, it started about three weeks ago. So here's a question I have out for you guys, many of whom are on the side chat, who also post up or have social media. Have you been getting stuff like this on your chat? I've been delving into why this is happening, and the leading theory is that these are spam bots. These are bots. They're posting things. But why are they posting place names or maybe street names? It's because these are innocuous statements. These aren't things that technically can't get you banned or kicked off, because you're not saying anything derogatory. You're not putting links to porn or scams or anything. But here's the thing: there's two leading theories. So one is, these are innocuous statements, but later on, somebody who's running these bots will flip a switch, or put in some code and go back and automatically go and re-edit all of their posts and add those nefarious links, whether it's to scams or to crypto or porn or what have you, or the other leading theory is that it's to validate these accounts on YouTube or other social media, so that they seem like real people, so that either they can skew the algorithm by because these are look to the AI as valid people accounts, that they will use them later, either to move the algorithm, or perhaps, hey, this is an election year. I don't know, but it's just kind of strange. So what I've been having to do is just go back in and manually flag each of these for YouTube. Right now, I'm just saying that these are unwanted commercial solicitations. Technically, they're not, but I could either delete them, but I figured I'll just notify, or at least let YouTube have the heads up so they can deal with it. But yeah, it's just kind of weird. And it's really thankfully, I've only had to deal with it with that one video site. That's like, it's an old video of mine, but it is kind of weird. So yeah, that's one of the things I'm having to deal with on a daily basis as a creator. And hopefully you guys who are also creators on the chat haven't had to deal with that. But let me know if you have or you haven't. So, okay. So question, what was the hashtag again? It is #guns. And let me see if I can just see. I am trying to find my tab. Yep. #guns. So put #guns in the chat, and we'll be doing a drawing, I'd say in about like 5 minutes or so for that swag bag. And we'll also be doing the, I'll let Link hopefully join in soon, and we can talk about the EDAR contest. It's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Uh-oh, what's going on? Well, what I do have is, oh, we got Pat in the bunker. Hey, Pat, thanks for joining us. So one of the things I wanted to share with you is, you know what, since I have you on here, I wanted to share some of the things that I've been finding interesting on the web. And one of the things that when I was driving out to Sac Valley, whoops, sorry, I will stop the screen there. There we go. I think that's probably better. One of the things that when you're doing a long drive, and I should mention that Sac Valley is like 3 or 4 hours away, so it was a long drive to get there, and I had to get there the day before because the match starts at they start setting up before 7 o'clock. So, but you know how that is. When any type of shooting match tends to be in the morning. I don't know who decided that, but well, obviously the weather condition. But yeah, I'm not. It's certainly a sport for morning people, but. While driving out there, I got to listen and to a lot of catch up on some YouTube and Spotify streams, and got to listen to some interesting stuff. Oh, by the way, we have Link. Finally, he joined us. Let me add him to our chat. Link, your sound is you're on mute right now. Hey, how are you, buddy?
Good. How are you guys doing? How are you doing?
Very good. So for the folks out there, this is Link. He is with Discovery Optics, and for those of you who don't know, Discovery Optics makes some excellent scopes. Everything from low power variable optics to short range low power scopes for hunting and for BB guns, all the way to long range, very high magnification, very high quality ED glass scopes. And Discovery Optics was kind enough to be giving away a scope that I got a chance to review. But I wanted to just introduce Link. Now, Link, tell us a little bit about your background and what you do over at Discovery Optics.
Okay, so I got my college degree in the United States, which means I had some like shooting experiences there, and also I was interested in like optics overall, basically like the rifle scope and other accessories when I was got into the shooting sport. So just one occasion I got to meet some people who are like a little bit higher up in the Discovery company, so that they they were wanting me to help them to basically be the consultant of the basically tell them what people like, and then how to better spec out the scope they are making, so that they market so the people here in the States and in other parts of the world, of course, would like them. And yeah, that's what I do. Basically, it's like a consultant. And over the years, so I've been working for Discovery for almost 3 years now. And yeah, over the years, I have developed and then also learned a lot of things about, how the scope is made, and then the designing process of the scope, including the optics side and also the mechanical side. Of course, when I'm right now back here in China for to help them to do some stuff here in the office, and also help them to train their newer employees who does not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, who don't have a lot of experience with like firearms and shooting specifically, so that they know, okay, how to use the scope, and also like what kind of things that people are looking for. Another part important is when I got back here, I have worked on the team that in charge of the QC and also the customer service, to make sure they are as professional as possible, so that when they are interacting with people, for example, they're in the United States, they know, okay, what people are looking for when they're talking to you. And that's basically what I do here in the company. And also, of course, there are some opportunities like Moondog and some other YouTubers who are expecting, okay, we need someone from the company to be basically representative in the situations like this. And then we weren't able to find anyone who like be able to communicate this. I'm not trying to brag, but trying to communicate with the people here in the States. And of course, I had some experiences, and also hopefully my English makes sense. So
yeah, it does.
Yeah,
yes,
that's what I do.
Excellent. Now, you said you studied here. If I remember, in our past conversations, it was over at BYU.
Yeah, in Utah. Yes.
Yeah, great university. Of course, great state, especially for the very free state. Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely.
Now,
Go ahead.
What kind of guns, rifles did you shoot when you were living out in Utah?
Yeah, so I was kind of like a poor college student. So I built my AR back in the 2019 era, and of course, from 10 different parts from 10 different manufacturers. And I really liked the AR platform overall because I was able to get a 22 adapter, later on a 22 upper, be able to shoot basically plinking and the um, all the fun stuff with the 223 556 platform. And basically, I stick with my AR, and I participate in um, lots of local CMP matches, civilian marksmanship program
Oh yeah,
matches,
yeah, yeah.
including the 22 rifles. 223 is the service rifle match, of course, in the modern rifle category, and that's what I like to do also. And then later on, the local match director is trying to get me into like EIC, like pistol shooting and some other things, but I mean, budget constraint, which I only own one AR, but with two different calibers, I was able to shoot most of the matches locally. And of course, like I made friends at their local range, and usually on Saturdays, I'll be there, I'll be up there, and then either shooting or practicing myself, or be the volunteer, like the range safety officer, safety person there. And also sometimes got to shoot other people's firearm, like pistols or hunting rifles and everything.
What's the farthest distance you ended up shooting?
Um,
Well, somebody else's rifle.
my own actually shot up to 600 yard, which is the
Oh,
distance for
good.
service rifle match.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We do have 600 yard target for the service rifle, so that's the first that I've shot. But for the long range, because I mean, again, budget constraint, I was not able to get like a rifle can touch, like reach out to beyond 1,000 yards. So that's
Yeah, that's still for most folks don't even get out to 600 yards. So I wouldn't
yeah.
feel too bad at all. Now, when you did shoot at that distance, were you using your iron sights, which most folks who traditionally shoot CMP matches tend to shoot with the rifle?
Oh, so they later on actually allowed scopes up to 4.5 power, which would be categorized as a
Yeah,
modern
yeah.
service rifle. And I was at the start. I bought a Loophole VX Freedom 1.5 to 4. I think it was a Pick Plus. That's what it's called, scope. And that scope actually performed quite well until I realized that I mean, the glass is really good, but in close range. But 600 yard is a little bit challenging, and also it's just very out of its adjustment range. So I've tried over the
Mm.
years. I actually tried a few other scopes. One I remember was Athlon, Argos. Was it Argos? Oh, yeah.
I think it's
Actually,
Helos.
no, it's the. Is it Halos? I can't remember, but I only kept that scope for a very short amount of time. It was not as good as I expected. So I later on switched to the Discovery EDAR 126. Is because that scope actually has really good glass, and also I think the adjustment range is well enough for me to touch, I mean, distance at least up to 600 yard, and that's what I stick with basically.
Now, for the matches, were you allowed to shoot with a scope that exceeded the 4.5? Or, I mean, you could set it for 4.5 and even tape it down or what have you. So were you allowed to shoot with a higher power scope as long as you didn't exceed
Yeah.
that?
Yes,
Oh,
the
good.
local matches, they let you tape it down. So I just keep it at 4 power, and then it's plenty for compared to iron sight, I guess. And
Especially with my eyes. Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm so my eyesight aren't that great either. I have pretty high index of astigmatism, so yeah, I have to wear glasses when I shoot too.
Yeah, that's a whole nother. I guess we could do a whole nother episode on just everybody's eyewear
Yeah, of course.
for corrective lenses.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's great. Now, could you tell us a little bit about the EDAR, which is one of your newest scopes, right? It's an LPVO. For those of you who don't
Yes.
know, that stands for low power variable optic. And perhaps you know more about this. I mean, in terms of who invented the LPVO and that terminology.
I don't know. As far as I can recall, and all the online resources I can find, I think back in the either 90s or 80s, people are starting to use the scope like from 1.25 power to somewhere around like 4.5, 5 power range. I think that's kind of like the prototype of like the origin of the LPVOs. I think the real modern LPVOs were made by Miata, which is it's called a I think the like the reticle is called K dot, but it's like I just can't remember the model. It's a 1 to 4. I think it's 1.1 to 4, and then was just as early as like the late 90s, and people starting to realize, okay, using LPVO in the 3-gun matches can give you a lot of advantages. Basically, you don't have to take up it's like the canted red dot to shoot the close range, and then being the tactical optics division, which only allows one optic. So basically, LPVO is the one that allows people to shoot in very close range within 25 yards, all the way up to maybe 400 or 500. And I think it was, and then there has been like Vortex razors following up with some other manufacturers coming up. Basically, what we were trying to do is basically when we were trying to design the EDAR 128, we were actually looking at, okay, there has been so many LPVOs on the market. How do we stand out? Or like, is there anything else we can offer in terms of the concept of LPVO? So do you have, Tom, do you have the one of the unit scope?
Oh,
You can show the
I have it
audience.
right here.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the EDAR we are referring to, and then I think it's a great scope. When we designed it, we said, okay, we would like to put the parallax adjustment on the scope, and also do a little bit different in terms of design of the turrets and everything. So that's that's the new things we brought into put into this product. And also, of course, as Discovery Optics, we are looking at the to put the products in a very budget-minded price range, so that people actually can is wanting to at least get a try on it.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're locking, they pull to unlock, and the parallax focus is the thing that really made me like do a double take, because I think it was we were talking about this. You were talking about this, uh, Helos, or is it the not the Kratos, or
Oh, the
the
Helos BTR service rifle scope, right?
yeah, it only goes to like, because it's service
One,
rifle,
two.
it only goes to 4.5. But that's the only one that I knew of that had the parallax focus that was under like a couple grand. Because I think the only other ones are like maybe US Optics makes one, or maybe Sightron
Yeah.
or somebody else, like really really expensive stuff.
Yeah, that one has a parallax just for the reason that in service rifle we shoot 200, 400, and 600. So ideally, if you have if you are specific about parallax error, I think putting the parallax as close to the actual distance you're shooting will make a slight difference in terms of how accurate can you get. So for example, the parallax, most of the majority of the, I say like over 90% of the LPVOs without the parallax wheel usually have the parallax set to either 100 or 150 yard, because that's
Yeah,
how most people are zeroing their rifles. So that if you get an accurate zero, and then everything after that could be could have less compromise when you actually trying to shoot more accurately. And also, I think most of the people who buy these LPVO type of optics are not specifically looking for, okay, you're like shooting bench rest type of matches, but more of like, okay, as long as you can hit an IPSC size target out to 2, 3, 4, or even 500 yards, they're fine with it. So that's kind of like the accuracy, except that if you have one has fixed parallax set to 100 or 150 yards. But the difference is that in service rifle matches, like we are actually shooting I just call it like a bench rest style, but without actual rest. It's more of like Olympic style. Three stands, three
Yeah.
spaces. You're shooting standing for 200 and 300 yard, and also I think standing only for 200, and then you're shooting kneeling for 2, 3, and the prong for
Prone,
3
yeah.
and 600 yards. So 600 yard as a the X ring is 2 MOA, I think. Was it 2 or 1?
I don't remember, but yeah,
Uh,
there. So
so the
it's
yeah. So the X ring is only 2 MOA, and then if you are actually aiming at 600 target with the 223 cartridge at 600 yard and 2 MOA, shooting for the 2 MOA X ring, a parallax arrow from, let's say, from 100 up to all the way to 600 can actually make a difference when you are when your eye is not perfectly aligned, or like, let's say, at the best position of the inside of the eye.
yeah, because it could be like a 1 or 2 MOA difference just in the parallax. So
Yes, yes.
yeah. So that's the reason why I can see why for specific use case,
Yeah.
for those who really want precision, and that's the thing about that's a kind of a thing about the first focal plane anyway. This is the first focal plane LPVO, and I'll be honest, I don't the only people who I can see really would want or need a first focal plane LPV are folks who are taking it to a distance, who want a little more precision for distance,
Yeah.
because for folks who are shooting close to medium range, I don't know why you'd want a first focal plane LPVO. But maybe there's a use case out there. If you folks out in the chat, if you could think of if you tell me, maybe I'm missing something. If you think there's a good reason why somebody at close range needs a first focal plane LPVO, maybe I'm just not appreciating that.
Yeah, and like what Tom has said, there are definitely some special use cases that this optic is designed for people. One thing, if Tom, you can show the audience like what is the closest range of?
This is
yeah.
dial this in. I have honestly, I don't know of any scope that goes down to 5 yards.
Yeah, so this optic, when we designed it, we actually found out, okay, we can actually focus back all the way to 5 yard, which is basically you can see anything from like a 2 or 3 yard. You should be able to see it like okay within a lower power range, like maybe under 3. And we know that some people, especially who are buying this when used in like indoor or very short range air rifles. And that's why we decide, okay, if we can get it down to focus even closer than most people's other people's focus, for example, like 10 yards is considered very low, and then we were able to bring it down to like 5, which is basically if you get like an air rifle or like a break action barrel rifles, some people like to shoot them maybe in house or in their basement, and it's I mean. Of course, with safety precautions and everything, and then this scope should allow you to do that. And yeah, and I also like, if you don't know, a lot of people who shoot service rifles, they do a lot of dry fire practices, and then my local match directors, I hate to say this, but he told me he practiced in his basement with a very close target, with like within 10 yard, like 8 or 9 yard, like a smaller target, every day for like an hour. So, and then I said, okay, if you have a scope that can focus back all the way to like 5 or 6 yards, you don't have to put like a how do you say that? What he does is basically he tape up. He uses like an electric tape to tape up the front of his scope, like the objective, and also poke a hole through it so that his scope would have
close a smaller aperture.
Yes, very, very small aperture to allow him to do that. And I just realized, okay, if you have that small aperture, and then when the lighting condition is not great, I mean, if you don't turn on lights or just a little bit darker, dimmer light during the day, it's really, really hard to see the target. So yeah, with this one here, if people actually wanting to do that, it's totally doable. Just bring the focus parallax down to 5 yard, and then you can go and try fire in the basement. So
Oh, that is a really interesting hack. I never would have thought about that, but it totally makes sense. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, is that it sounds like he physically taped up the front of his scope, and then he poked a hole. And what that does, well, I'm not going to get into the optics, the optical theory of it, but it's the same on photography cameras. If you want a greater depth of field, things that are in focus, when you have a shallow depth of field, there's only a little bit of stuff that's in focus, and things that further back or closer are going to be out of focus. When you have a really deep depth of field, everything, a lot of stuff that's close and far away are all in focus. So when you're taking a lot of pictures where you see people, they're in focus, and the mountains behind them are in focus. So what you need to do for that is you actually need to have a very small, opening for light to get in. Than normal, and in a lot of ways that's one of the reasons why LPVOs have such small fronts to begin with. The downside, of course, is you're getting far less light coming through, because that's really when you have those big hunting scopes that have great twilight performance, and because they have huge bells in front, they have huge objective lenses, because all that big space in the front is gathering the light and concentrating it back here. But the trade-off is you're going to have a shallower area that's in focus. So that's, in a nutshell, what we're talking about. Is that's a great hack. Is if you need to have something in focus at a closer range, you could just cover this up and make a tiny little hole. That's cool, actually. Thanks for sharing that little bit.
Yeah. Anytime.
Now you don't. I don't know if you say this on the website at all, but this is break barrel rated.
Yes. So everything we made after the beginning of this year, I think it was like 2020, like that's actually after 2020, late 2023, we applied the same, shockproof method from our MS series scope up all the way up to ED series, and then we can basically boldly claim that everything we made or we are selling right now on the website in terms of scopes are break barrel rated. So yeah, just if you have a spring air rifle, and then
I've got a Magnum break barrel, so I'm always looking for a scope that I don't destroy, that won't be destroyed if I mount this. So this actually would be cool.
Yeah, it should be able to hold up the recoil for sure.
Oh. Well, I'm pretty sure this will. For those of you who saw my drop test on this is the one. It's got a little bit of some scratches on it from dropping this from 6 feet. The little nick up. You can see this on there. Little nick on the front there from probably hitting a rock at the range when I was dropping this. It held up. I dropped this thing. Actually, ended up dropping this twice, because the first time I filmed, the footage didn't quite come out as well correctly in terms of how I filmed it. So a little bit of background Hollywood magic. So this scope actually survived 2 tests. It's the second one that you got to see in the video. So did you get a chance to see that video, by the way, Link?
I don't think so. I've been out of office until maybe yesterday, and we were doing some work over at the manufacturer site, and I'll go back and take a look at it. But did this arrive by chance?
Did this one arrive? I'm sorry?
Yeah, survive.
Oh, yes, it did. In fact, you know what? I may be able to share that. So let me just answer a quick question from posted up. Oh, we got Cyclops Joe. He's my virtual mentor who showed. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for joining us. And for Will, Discovery do they just open an office in California, in Southern California? I didn't get a chance to visit it, but I got a chance to visit Nigel, who opened it up, and so they'll be handling all the warranty issues, so that you don't have to. That's that shows you how committed they are. Is that they want to provide the best customer care. That's what he told me. Is that that's the reason they opened up a California office, just to deal with any returns if you have any. So yeah. All right, let me cue this up if I can here, and I will share this video file. And you tell me, Link, what this is going to be the first time watching this, so tell me, you can see what happens.
Okay.
I've been live fire testing this EDAR LPVO from Discovery Optics in the process of testing and reviewing it. You'll find a link to that review in this video's description. And it is surprisingly good for an LPVO under $250, not least of which because it has a parallax focus. But the biggest question people have about this scope isn't about the parallax, it's, will it hold zero? And from personal experience, I can say yes. Yes, it has. But based on the comments some of you posted, you'd like to see a more dramatic test. Okay, let's do this. Before we get started with the test, I'd just like to take a quick break here to talk about this episode's sponsor, Aura. For the cost of just a VPN, I'm getting a whole suite of security services, including $1 million in identity theft insurance, fraud alerts, spam blockers, and they're even removing me from.
And this is legit, folks. I do use them.
Use my link, aura.com/moondog, and you can try them free. And if you use that link, you're helping to support this channel.
And that is Robert Downey Jr., by the way. He's on the board of directors. You got Tony Stark on the board of directors.
So I've had a chance to try out this optic for the last 2 days and test it out, and I've put in, I'd say, over 100 rounds on this so far, and it's held zero. But I'm sure there's a lot of skeptics out there who are still wondering, like, yeah, really, what is the durability of a Discovery EDAR or any Discovery scope? Well, I thought I would test it out for you. So what I'm going to do is we're going to confirm zero. I'm going to shoot 5 rounds into the target downrange at 50 yards. And then I'm going to take this scope off of this rifle and I'm going to drop it. And then we're going to see if it held zero, if it holds zero. Now it's going to shift a little bit for sure because I'm taking it off the mount, but it shouldn't shift that dramatically. And if it is a weak optic, it will quickly start to wander.
And that is that's one of the new Sunlight Photo reverse leg tripods that I was testing out.
And in case you're wondering, I'm shooting a 16-inch AR upper chambered in 223 Wild and firing 5.56 Winchester white box, 55 grain full metal jacket, and my targets are at 50 yards.
So do you think that's Lake? What do you think of the test thus far? Do you think this is a fair distance to be testing this optic
Let's
out?
take this thing off. As I'm mentioning, we are going to shift a little bit because every time you take your scope off its mount, change your rings, you're going to have to re-zero. But it shouldn't be that dramatic. And in my experience, when a scope can't hold zero, you find out fairly quickly, within 20 rounds, whether or not it won't hold zero. So we're going to see if this will survive a decent fall. Now, typical industrial tests are done about 3 meters, about 3 feet.
I'm at 3 feet, not 3 meters.
Find out. Minus any of the dust.
And again, this was the second drop that day.
Okay. So we'll see how far this has wandered.
Well, actually, technically, it was the third drop because the second time I filmed it, I accidentally knocked it off of my
I should just
rifle as I
mention as
was
an aside
putting it
that
on.
while testing this scope, I was also testing out these new 6065 scope rings from Discovery Optics.
And that's
Now,
660.
I don't generally recommend
Oh,
putting
sorry about
scope
that.
rings on an LPVO because there's just not enough eye relief if you're mounting it onto an AR, so I recommend a cantilever scope mount rather than these rings.
All right. Go for the top right now.
And for those of you who are talking about inexpensive scope, definitely check out Discovery because all of their scopes
Right.
are under $1,000, and most of them under 500. So
Show
yeah,
clear. All right, let's go check it out.
so one of the things I wanted to do was do this all in one take.
All right, so
you wouldn't think that I was cheating.
don't know
in any
how
way.
this is gonna net out. Now, looking through the scope, I look pretty close. A little bit wider group, but then again, it could be user error more than likely. But it shouldn't be too far off. But let's find out.
Now, as I'm walking here, I know I was thinking, I think I rushed those shots, and it's going to show in this target.
Now I know I pulled 2 of the shots, so
I'm going to pause this here. So I just wanted to mention. So the first shots, the shots in the center bullseye in the black, were zeroing out the scope. But the top left are the shots that I shot at the beginning when I tripod before I dropped it, and the ones on the right were after I dropped it. And I wasn't quite happy. I wasn't happy with that group at all because I was rushing it for the video. So I'm going to just forward ahead because what I did, I wasn't satisfied with this. So what I did was I went back again and shot another 5. So just for the benefit of Link here, I'm going to forward. The bottom right is the group that I shot after that I shot again. So not a perfect group by any stretch, but pretty close to the one on the top left, at least close enough by my gauge. So it held. It's so far it's held 0. So yeah. What do you think, Link?
I think it's a fair. I mean, it's a very fair test that it kind of shows. I think it. I mean, for me, I would call it good because I mean, anytime you drop your rifle or your scope specific or even remounted, me personally, I would go back and check 0 for sure because that's like the one thing. Like, I mean, I would say everyone who knows about firearms or like how scope works should do. But it looks like your shot is. The center is shifted up by about 1/2 inch, and then to the right about 1/2 inch. So that will be considered like 1 MOA shift within, like, I mean, at 100 yard basically. And I consider this results like very, I mean, excellent for how much abuse that the scope have taken after you took it off. So
and honestly, if most scopes, even if you take it off, if you don't even drop it, if you're taking your scope off of your rifle and you put it back on again, and you're not using a torque screwdriver to know exactly how much torque you're putting, because I was just doing finger tight, it's going to shift, and it's probably going to shift that much anyway. So to your point, Link, it's well within what I consider to be sort of standard use. But so I wanted to take a moment here and point out all the new folks who've joined up. I'm going to be giving away a prize to everybody who's on the chat right now. So get your hashtags in, put hashtag guns, and you're going to be doing a giveaway for a guns.com swag bag from SHOT Show. So let's do that before we get over to our big giveaways. And what we're going to do is I'm going to share that. Let's see, present, share screen.
Now I got to find that. Pardon me, folks. Just trying to get the right contest screen queued up while I'm doing this. As you can see, the experience level in using the StreamYard interface I do not have. So let me see where I have that giveaway tool on our StreamYard giveaway. There we are. All right, so let's hit the draw button. Actually, you want to count it down there, Link? Just give it like a 5 or 10 count down to 1, and I'll hit the draw button.
All right, I'll do it. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, JH586, Jamie, you get the swag bag, and I'm gonna throw in. Congrats. I am going to throw in one of my patches as well into the bag. So, Jamie, congratulations. You'll be getting the guns.com swag bag. And you know what? I'm going to do another drawing in a hot minute here. But what I wanted to do is I'm going to give away, I think I have to reset that or draw again. You know what? I won't. I'm just going to hit the draw again button. So for those of you who didn't win and who haven't had a chance to put in your hashtag, do that now, and you'll get a chance to win a Cult. Yep. Cult Firearms swag bag. So I'll be doing that before we jump off the end of this episode. But before we get into the other big giveaways, I just wanted to take this down a little bit and take the tone of the show down a little bit because I wanted to recognize something that happened. Two things, significant things happened this week, or sorry to say, the previous week. We lost two great individuals from this planet. One of them specifically in the 2A community, and one is that person being Paul Harrell. For those of you who aren't aware of his show, great educator, just a great overall human being. Learned so much from watching his videos in terms of what firearms can do, how to shoot safer, and how to take even a 22 seriously. Great YouTuber. Lost his battle with cancer, but I'll include a link out there. But he posted one of posthumously his brother and his producer posted a video that he recorded last year when he knew he was dying. Well, it literally is "I'm dead," and it was a really powerful video. If you haven't seen it, I'll include a link to that in this video description. So, Paul. Great individual, but also we lost James Earl Jones. And for those of you who might recognize the name, but it doesn't necessarily come immediately, that's amazing actor, voice of Darth Vader. I think everybody knows that voice. And so we lost those two great folks. But I wanted to share. I'm not going to share Paul's video because I want you to go, everybody to go see that, because that should get views, that should get clicks, and it's got like millions of views. It needs more. And you're still, Paul's brother and his producer are still making content, and we should keep on watching. See all of his back library, see all the new content that his brothers will be posting up. So I want you to, I'm going to include the link to that video, so you guys should watch this. But I wanted to share this one video of James Earl Jones, which I think, let's see here if I can bring this up here. Present, share Share screen. Okay, so I'm going to share what I think is one of the best examples, one of the best scenes, movie roles that James Earl Jones ever had, and that is from Conan the Barbarian. I know that might sound silly for you, but this is just, I think, one of the most iconic characters he played was the central villain of that movie, and he played it like a Shakespearean stage actor. So I'm going to share this with you guys.
There was a time, boy, when I searched for steel. And steel meant more to me than gold or jewels.
The riddle of steel.
Yes. You know what it is, don't you, boy? Shall I tell you? It's the least I can do. Steel isn't strong, boy. Flesh is stronger. Look around you. There, on the rocks. That beautiful girl.
Come to me, my child.
That is strength, boy. That is power. The strength and power of flesh. What is steel compared to the hand that wields it? Look at the strength of your body, the desire in your heart. I gave you this. Such a waste. Contemplate this on the tree of woe. Crucify him.
So for those of you who haven't seen this movie, definitely go see it. Oh, wait, I'm hearing that the video still is on. Sorry, let me turn that off. That was not the sound effect that I had intended. But getting back to that, Will, thanks for pointing out that I think it was Will who pointed out that we also lost Chris Christopherson. I didn't know that happened today. And also, probably the one of the greatest. We lost Jimmy Carter as well. Past president, probably the greatest ex-president. Maybe not the best president at the time, given the record, but I think without a doubt one of the best ex-presidents in terms of what he did after he got out of office. I just wanted to take if I could have a moment of silence from everybody and maybe a silent prayer for their passing. Thank you, everybody. So getting back to our previous discussion, Link, the EDAR. We're going to be giving away one of these to one of the lucky folks out there who signed in and to my website at moondogindustries.com/contest and went through the hoops, because it is a contest. This is not a game of luck. I have to say that because, legal reasons. This isn't just a luck giveaway. You actually it's a contest. It's a matter of skill. So for those of you who actually qualified, we included your name in this wheel that we are going to bring up. And let me just change the share screen. And okay, share screen, and there we go. Okay, so same as before, Link. If I've loaded up all the names, so Link, if you want to just tell me when you want me to click the button.
Okay, should I just count down 5?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, let's do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do it.
Oh, sorry, Kevin. Eric Johnson, congratulations. All right, so Eric Johnson, I don't know if you're on you don't have to be present to win, but I will contact you since I have your email address. Eric, you've won the EDAR, and I'll be sending your contact information. I'll get your shipping information from you via email, and I will be forwarding that on to Discovery Optics. You know, I should, just to be fair, or just to be thorough, I should say, just in case Eric does not respond to me, and occasionally, for whatever reason, some people don't. I'm going to pick a runner-up, and if Eric does respond, what I'll do is I'll give the runner-up another swag bag prize as a consolation. But if for some reason Eric does not, let me make a note of this, that Eric won 5, 6. Eric Johnson, and I'm gonna spin for the runner-up. Oh my gosh, Jamie again. I think that's Jamie's last name. I'm actually not sure. Congratulations, Jamie. So, all right, let me close that out. All right, so Link, you won't have any problem sending that anywhere in the U.S. and Canada, right? If I remember correctly, I think everybody. I can't for sure know where Eric's address is. I'd have to until I contact him. But if I remember, U.S. and North America, U.S. and Canada was cool.
Yeah, US should be all fine, but Canada, it might be a little bit different. If the person ended up in Canada, we might there's a chance that I don't know how the shipping is going from US to Canada, but if it doesn't work, we'll just make sure we send one, I think, from where we are to Canada straight. Make sure that the optic goes to people's hand.
I know you have a distributor there. Actually, I know. At the very least, my buddy Alex up there is one of your distributors. So maybe you could work out with him. If I'm jumping the gun here because I don't know if Eric is in Canada or the U.S. I have to look that up at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter to us if it needs to be sent to Canada.
Okay. Well, that's good. All right. So you know what? We're nearing the end of our hour, and I wanted to give away, the second giveaway of the cult bag. So let me bring that up here again. Oh, hey, Hillbilly! Thanks for joining us.
Hey, buddy. Hey, Link. Hey, Dom. There was some question out there in the side chat, so I just want to come over and address this. Juan out there says, "How do you enter a contest?" I thought it was #guns. So I was wanting to, see if you could elaborate on.
Oh that. Yeah. Sorry. So Juan, there are a couple of contests on tonight. So the scope contest was actually that contest has been going on for a month. It started at the beginning of September. So if you hadn't already entered, unfortunately, the deadline to enter was earlier today. But what I want you to do is go to moondogindustries.com, and I'll post up a link right now.
Yeah, and you've been doing these pretty much every month.
Mm-hmm. And there's going to be the reason why I wanted to post this up is because there's going to be a new contest coming up in October. I'm just finalizing details with the contest sponsor. So whenever I have a contest, the current contest will be posted up on that webpage. So go check out the details on that page. The details for for last month's for the EDAR contest was everyone had to subscribe to my to show that they were a subscriber to my travel channel, Moondog Go, and just send a screenshot to prove that you're a subscriber, and then put in your information about the state and zip code that where you live, so that I know you're in North America, in the United States. That qualified you for entry. Oh, and if you donated to my son's walkathon, that was a bonus entry. By the way, you can still donate to his walkathon for their school. They're going to be doing the 5K walk around Golden Gate Park at the end of this month, or towards the end of this month, for the fall harvest festival at St. Anne's of the Sundance. St. Anne's. So I'm going to just give a free plug to St. Anne's School. One of the best private schools and affordable private schools in San Francisco. And I know I went to public school myself. So it's not like I'm a snooty private school boy. No. I went to public school in Los Angeles. So yeah, it is hardly not an elitist kind of school system, but as people have known the craziness of California, and especially San Francisco, and the dysfunction of the government here. So the public schools in general in San Francisco have been fairly poor in terms of the test scores, and the quality is very scattershot. I'll be charitable and say that. So a lot of folks will send their kids to Catholic school if they can afford it. And I have to say, St. Anne's has done well for both of my kids. And they have some of the most polite, respectful kids in the city. So great school. Got to give a plug to St. Anne's, and I hope everybody help support the 5K walk. So,
all right. Well, also wanted to tell you here, Moondog, Pat in the Bunker, the $5 super chat. So,
oh, thank you, Pat. That's awesome. Thank you so much. So, but I wanted to give away that, and I forgot to queue up the giveaway for the Colt bag. And guns and Colt. So let me do that for a second. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I got that scrolling at the bottom. Yeah. So
for Juan and for everybody else who's put in their hashtag, this drawing here is going to be for the Colt bag. So I'm gonna Hillbilly, since you're on, why don't you tell me to hit the button?
Yeah, well, we don't count very far, so I'll just have to start out at 3.
All right.
So 3, 2, 1.
Mark Thomas, congratulations. I was actually I was hoping it wasn't going to be Hillbilly, because that would look a little suspicious. But congratulations, Mark. Well, wouldn't that be a kicker if you actually would have been the winner?
Oh man.
All right. Okay, so before we wrap things up tonight, some of you I'm sure we're waiting for this. These are N4 night vision goggles, and let me close up this screen here. There we go. These are N4 night vision goggles, and these are GTMedia has been kind enough to to sponsor the next prize drawing, which just because of scheduling in terms of production release. Because actually, I hadn't when I first got these, you could correct me here, Link. When I first got a chance to take a look at these, you weren't sure when they were going to be releasing, so I went ahead and was going to give away these GTMedia night vision goggles in September. But then I got a call from Anna at Discovery, said, "Hey, they're releasing these. Can you promote them now?" So I said, "Okay, I'll do 2 giveaways for this month." So. Second contest, and that was if you saw it on my website, it was at moondogindustries.com/N4 contest. And so we're going to draw the winner for that. Oh, okay. I got to load that up too. This is very professional, I know, folks. So I appreciate you being patient with me here.
Just to clarify something, Moondog, on your last one
it said the last one was for the EDAR, even though it said N4 night vision goggles, because I forgot to.
N4 on it. Okay.
Yeah, so I should clarify for that, folks. Yeah, and the screen, it's my amateurish attempt to try to put in information, but anyway, so we will be loading what this is for the N4 night vision goggles that we will be spinning for next. And all right. So even though this isn't your product link, do you want to give this like a quick countdown?
Yeah, I'll just do 5. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So Avaniel, make a note of that. Avneil. Now, if I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but that is what I saw on my form, and we are going to. I'm just going to spin also for a runner-up. Now, if this runner-up happens to be outside of the U.S., I'm not going to be able to get you a whole swag bag, but I will get you. I will get you something if Avaniel doesn't respond. Carrie Hall, runner-up. So congratulations. All right. So those are our 2 giveaways we're doing tonight, folks. I'm glad everybody could join me for that. And hopefully you got a chance to learn a few things about Discovery Optics and their scopes. Any final questions you have for Link or Discovery Optics in the chat, folks? And I should ask. I actually do have a question for you, Link. Now, you've got a new scope coming out, is what I heard. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? I think that's the that is the LH. That's a 35 power scope. Or am I misquoting that one?
I don't think I can recall any scope that goes up to 35 power yet. At least not like recent. What is coming out? Did I mention that in the last stream with you guys, or Sorry, I didn't have this on my.
No. I sprung that up on you. But is there the one question I had that came up: does Discovery make non-illuminated version of which scope was that? Will, of which scope that were you asking about?
No, illuminated version of which scope?
I mean, if you're just talking like about some of the MS ones, those are not illuminated. So I don't know exactly which one he is talking about.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good question. And I'd like to get Will's point on this. Is there when I first started shooting scope, when I first started using scopes, I was thinking like because most scopes had fairly low illumination, and I didn't do much. I didn't do hunting. I didn't really do much hunting, so I didn't necessarily need to shoot in twilight very often. So I didn't see much use or need for an illuminated scope. But now I just don't. I kind of think that it's par for the course. Does adding a scope does adding illumination to a scope add a lot of cost and or weight to a scope?
Oh, well, it depends. If a scope like the LPVO, which is like the front, especially front focal plane, like first focal plane LPVOs, yes, that usually add a little bit more of into the cost compared to most other magnification range. For example, like if we are talking about, let's say, the ED 5 to 25 you have reviewed before, overall cost, my estimation would be around like 50 something, less than $50, like maybe $40 or $30.
Oh, that is so. I mean, for some folks that could be significant, especially if
I know.
your scopes are like they're.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like about 220. I mean, somewhere around there. I mean, $50 in the context of what the scope costs could be a reduction in like 20% or 25% of the total cost of the scope. So yeah, that is significant.
I said up to $50 is because for that LPVO, my estimation will be like around 20 or maybe less, like $10, $15 somewhere around there in the total cost. But I mean, for the higher power scope, for example, like the 5 to 25, 5 to 40, those kind of magnification range is a little bit more. It's just because it takes a little bit of work to make sure the illumination is actually not interfering with the rest of the optical system, so that people are not seeing like shadows or like weird, like a stray light coming into the image. Make everything like blurry. So to fine-tuning in the assembly process, to fine-tune those where the LED bulbs is going to be, and also like how the illumination is going to work, just take a little bit more time. But in terms of material, that doesn't really cost like maybe like it will be like around $5 to $10, and then another like 5 to 10 in terms of like labor. So that's how usually it works. And then now that's what I was basically what I was told. And for example, I mean, not to call names, that scope that costs $2,000 or like $1,500 or $2,000 without illumination, which is, in my opinion, is not acceptable. You guys know which one I was talking about, but the brand with the black and gold color.
Well, yeah, I know. So it just seems like you should be able to just put all that. I mean, unless it adds like a huge amount of weight, and you're going for the lightest weight rig and setup as possible. I could just put an illuminator on there.
Yeah.
Now, I won't. I like this scope. The only thing I'd have to say is that at 1 power, because it's a 1 to 8, the reticle. What do you think that it would be required to make either a brighter illumination, or would you consider adding a thicker stadia or design to the reticle to be more usable at 1 power?
I think it's depending on who's using it, because like over the years, we have seen iterations of front focal plane 1 to 8 or even 1 to 10s, and how they have been doing things. For example, like From the top to the bottom, the Vortex Razor Gen 3 1 to 10, and also the Night Force Attacker and the NX8 1 to 8. They have been using this kind of newer-ish technology called diffractive reticles, which is made by a Swiss company called IMT. I'll put it in the chat, which you can look it up. And it's called IMT Powerlight. This is a technology that they use to etch the reticle plane a little bit differently compared to most conventional etched reticles, so that the illumination can be very bright.
Oh, so that's how they do it. It's not a stronger emitter. It's just the etching.
Yeah, the etching, right. And so IMT Powerlight has a patent. I think it is either expiring or it's still like there. And the equipment required to do that kind of specific etching is basically costs basically the same compared to the machines that does the computer chips. So it's very that's actually high tech. And at the same time, when if a scope has this kind of power light refractive reticles, they are usually more expensive because the IMT company, they charge about $400 to $500 just for the reticle assembly they make for people. So you can see, okay, the Vortex Razor is like $2,000, and then both.
So that's why it's 2,400. So,
yes,
okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then so combining front focal plane with the extremely bright illumination is a recipe of, okay, you're going to pay more. And so that's why, okay, you can see the primary arms PLX 1 to 8 came out, I think, a couple years ago. They decided to go with a different route, which is increase the thickness of the light coming in, and so that also put it like a big ring, like a how do you say that? Basically, ACS's traditional reticle on the center to make sure people, okay, they can see what they are aiming, or at least get a faster sight acquisition from the reticle design in the lower power, and then also can be a little bit more precise in the higher power, even though that one doesn't have daylight bright illuminations. So to make the front focal plane 1 to 8 work. So yeah, it has been both designs. So it's because, of course, we're looking at more of like a budget range of the optics. Basically, what we did was just trying to work with the reticles, and also, we're trying to get the illumination as bright as possible with what we can do here. But we decided to go with the route to work on the reticle a little bit more.
Yeah,
just because you can't expect a $250 scope with the $400 reticle assembly, which is,
No, totally understandable. That's why I think I sent an email back that I was suggesting that maybe if like the Sig Sauer MSR, yeah, where it had those big spears on the outside at 1 power. That way, when you crank it up to 8 power, those spears go away anyway, so it doesn't clutter your field of view. But at 1 power, at least you have those visual references. If you can't see the very thin center crosshairs at 1 power, then you still have those big out exterior reference points. But everybody ask 10 people their opinion about a reticle, and you're going to get 20 different opinions. So I totally understand.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, we are definitely taking more suggestions from the market, and also friends like Tom and Mike, and then to help us improve our products. So if you guys have any suggestion, you can definitely put in the chat and comment that, I'm actually looking at them right now. And then someone, I think Will, said that the posting at 3, 6, and 9 o'clock would help to center, which basically means the SIG MSR and also the, I think the PLX C from Primaris Arms is doing. So yeah, we'll definitely consider that in the future. Like right now, we do have a post at the 3, 6, and 9 o'clock position, but it looks like it's on the thinner end.
Yeah,
of
that's
the, yeah.
yeah.
Well-
That's why I would suggest but make an even super thick one, but on the outside edges of your of the scope view, so that when you do bring up the magnification, those scale out of the way since it's the first focal plane. Yeah.
If I could say something here about
Yeah.
your MS3 3x9.
Oh yeah.
This would definitely, like, being here in the hills, the woods, and all this. This is definitely a great deer hunting rifle. There is no illumination on it, but the glass is very clear, easy to get on site. And so, like, if you had like a youth hunt, right? You know, you're bringing up a child, you know, and all that. This would be great for that because of the price point, but it is also great. Like, this is going on one of my deer rifles. There's no doubt about that. But I can't say enough about these 70-75 mounts that you guys have. I know you've not talked about them. A lot of people has been buying these and trying them, and they are wonderful. This scope right here went on a 12 gauge and you know the recoil on that. And it was grouping within 3 or 4, like probably a 3 or 4 inch group at 50 yards. After I think I put like, I don't remember how many rounds to it, you know, but it stayed on 0 and was grouping. So you would not have any problem with a deer rifle, you know, with that. It's just great glass, just really clear, easy to get up quick and get on target. And it is not illumination. So I know there's some people out there asking about that. So I just want to throw that in.
Yeah, that is a real torture test right there, putting on a shotgun. Most folks, I don't know, I could be wrong out there. Most folks won't put any magnified optic on their shotgun.
Well, there are, you know, states that have straight wall for hunting. So either you have to use a firearm as a straight wall, you know, firearm, or a lot of them just use 12 gauge slugs, you know.
Yeah.
There, and so there is a lot of people in certain states that use 12 gauge slugs, you know, for deer hunting. And so,
no doubt. But do most folks who do use the slug scope their shotguns?
oh yeah,
Yeah,
didn't
know.
No doubt. Yeah, that's their deer rifle. It is a 12 gauge slug. I mean, they got scopes on them, all that stuff. And I did not know this personally from growing up around here because we didn't, you know, use a slug very much because we could use other ammunition. But friends that's moved down here from Iowa and different states, yeah, when they go back home and like here, like they go hunting with us, they got 12 gauge with slugs in it and a scope on it. That's their deer rifle. And I'm like, what are you doing with that? How come we don't have a, you know, 30-30 or, you know, whatever? They're like, nah, man, I've took several deer with this all my life, you know. So, yeah, that is their deer hunting rifle.
Right on. Okay. That's so you've closed it out with a good plug for some of Discovery Optics other products for sure. I'm going to be testing out some, I think, another mount of theirs, and you've got the new 6061 rings as well, that are look very much like the 7075 rings, which if you guys haven't checked it out, there's what's great about them is they have this little reference pin inside of the 7075 rings that really and also they're pre-lapped on the inside. So in terms of construction, they're all milled from the same billet, the top and the bottoms of the rings link? for your scope rings? Are the 7075s, are they all milled from the same piece of aluminum, or are they just precision? Are they that's just in the final milling?
So the bore grinding is what actually ensures the how do you say, the centerness of the how do you say, the when you mount the scope. You can see the inside of the scope rings for both those two models you mentioned are smooth instead of anodized. So what we do is basically we after we finish the ring. And then we put them onto one continuous piece of rail and also bore grinded. And then that removes the need of lapping and people starting to receive them and then mount the scope onto their rifle.
Well, that yes, and that's assuming that their rifle's straight.
Yeah, right. I mean, as long as the rail is straight, it should be work the way it's designed for.
Now you have a video on your website, right?
Yeah.
Showing
Yeah.
that, correct?
Yeah.
Go check that out. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, folks. Oh, Link, I'm gonna leave it up, or I'm gonna wrap things up here. And I really do appreciate you taking the time early in the morning, right? It's very early in the morning for you, where you're at.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. Sorry, when you started this at around 8 o'clock, it's actually 8 o'clock in the morning for me. So it's 9:30, 7:38 right now for me. In the morning.
Okay.
I haven't had his
also-
breakfast cereal yet.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah,
you joining us for this, and I very much appreciate, and I'll say that for our winner Eric for giving away this scope, and hopefully we'll get you guys on as a sponsor for if not next month, the for November
Mm-hmm.
for a giveaway, maybe a set of those 70-75 rings we were just talking about might be a nice prize to give away.
Mm-hmm.
But is there anything that you wanted to share with us before we closed off in terms of anything new you guys like to plug, or tell us where you're going to be in terms of any shows that are coming up?
Oh yeah. So just maybe a couple more minutes about the reticle we were talking about. So
Mhm.
for the especially for the LPVOs, low power variable, and also the hunting scope, there's a different route to get illumination bright enough so that you
Yep.
can see it in the day. So there has been like companies, I think starting probably 5-6 years ago, people are using this 5 or 6, maybe that's not, like about 10 years ago, people are starting
Oh,
to
so it's-
use
wow.
fiber wired
Oh yeah,
reticle.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you know, and basically it's like a piece of fiber going through the metal wire inside of the reticle plane, which but that method only works in the second focal plane. So I mean, basically, at least people cannot get the fiber. I mean, the metal wire thin enough to be in the first focal plane. That
And
yeah.
it's only through one of the stadia, or one of the crosshair
Yeah,
bars, right?
the fiber goes either inside or behind the stadia. Usually, it's on the 6 o'clock position, and then
That's
go
what I
up
would
to the
think.
center. Yeah, go
Well,
up to the center.
I could never tell if it was coming out from the 6 o'clock or the 12 o'clock, but I would have.
Yeah. Usually it's behind what you can see, unless you take the scope apart and actually take a look at it. But yeah, that method needs to be paired with the fiber, like metal wire reticle, which can only be used on the second focal plane design. And all the I can count how many. I mean, there are only basically less than 10 scopes that has that design. From the top to bottom is the Vortex Razor Gen 2 126, and then the Vortex Viper PST 126, the Delta Striker 126, the Trijicon, basically the same design from the same OEM, Light Optics work, the Trijicon Credo 126XX 126, and down to the bottom, the recent one is Primary Arms PLX Nova
Nova, yeah.
126, and a Monstron Panzer, I think. What is it called? I can't remember. Or
Yeah,
Banshee. One of the Banshee version. Yeah.
It's the Banshee C, I think
Mhm.
something C.
Yeah.
But I think I think it's Brass Facts, or maybe it was Hop who mentioned this. Is that it's the irony of fiber optic is that the fiber optic ones, the reticles are so thick you don't need daylight bright illumination.
Yeah, that is true. But I mean, for people who are shooting 3 guns or even some other like action shooting sports, it's definitely better to have the daylight bright illumination so that when you are actually going up from the low high radial, whenever um, your eyes, I mean, one of your eye actually,
Yeah.
maybe two, are only looking for a red dot instead of trying to figure out, okay, where are the crosshairs emerge. So in my opinion, it's still faster to have a fiber dot illumination compared to like the stadium. In terms of you're trying to save fraction of seconds in your stage. So
It's true. So yeah, that I think but I've not found a reticle in a reticle design that I particularly like with a fiber dot. I mean, they're okay. They're just for whatever reason, none of them have ever been like, oh, I love this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of that, we are actually this is a little bit of leak of what we are going to do, but
leak away.
Yeah, we are actually reworking the ED126 from previous iterations, and putting into a fiber wire reticle is actually on the list. Tom, if you have any suggestions of how the second focal plane fiber reticles, I mean, you can let me know right now.
I'm just
later.
Yeah, I can send you a couple of the designs, but I just don't make it like just everybody else's. It's just this the sort of traditional crosshair cross, and it's like, okay, it seems like just a sort of wasted opportunity. If you're if it only has to be thank you for confirming that. If it only has to be on the 6 o'clock spire at the end of that, then you have so much more options of. Now, here's a question. Those are wire. Does it have to be a wire? Can you have a combination of wire and etch second focal plane, or is that just makes it too complicated and expensive?
So maybe I should explain a little bit of how the wire works. And so here's the thing: as long as the reticle is all connected together without any like breakage, for example, like you can see some of the scope design which has like a 4A reticle, and then there's a floating dot in the center that is not doable for
not for wire.
Reticle.
Yeah.
So the wire reticle, you have to connect everything together, which is like there's no breakage in between. Like for example, the spire on the 12 o'clock compared to the one to the 6 and 3 o'clock, as long as it has some sort of connection to like connect them together, and then instead of like have one place has like a breakage, and then that should work, because the fiber, like the wire, has to hold like tensions to hold itself together. Okay. So yeah, hopefully it does make sense for you.
So you'd have to have an equal amount of tension in so 2 planes. So you couldn't just have like a German's T style, because that wouldn't have enough tension.
T style, yeah, you're exactly right.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll take this offline, but I that sounds intriguing, and I'll put my graphic design skills to work and see if what I can suggest for you. And for those of you out there who have any skills with Canva or CAD, who want to throw in any suggestions, I'll find out from a link a way to get some suggestions. Yeah, like you might want to set up some sort of websites like for people to upload, or even like a Google form somewhere just to upload their suggestions for a reticle. I think that would be kind of a cool little contest.
Yeah, especially if you can just use printer paper and crayons.
Yeah, there we go.
You know, screenshot that. This is what I want it to look like.
Yeah, I'll be happy to host that link if you want me to do that. I'll post.
Yeah, we can definitely discuss that. I mean, for sure, we have to make it accordance with like the product development team. But yeah, I'll forward that information because the reticle is one thing that I mean, it's I think it's a very important aspect for affects how the scope is going to perform in the cells. But I mean, a lot of manufacturers, they are just especially the companies like the Chinese companies, like I don't know, I hate to say this, but I have to point out, I think Monstrel makes really good scopes and also great prices. But when I look at some of their reticles, I was like, yeah, I think you guys can do a little bit better than this. And I really hope that they can do well in their cells. But maybe like in terms of reticle design, like, I mean, they can maybe ask Tom or Mike to put into some thought that, yeah.
Oh, I've sent them a couple of suggestions, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Whenever I see them at shot, I always rag about, like, this could have been, you could have made this little change here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think some people, especially optics OEM, they underestimate how important the reticle is to people. Like, it will make or break the deal because you're looking at the reticle. I mean, if you're using the scope very often, you're looking at the reticle like all the time. So it's just tough concept, but because the how to etch the reticle, like the reticle assembly, is only a very small portion of the entire scope design and
Oh, absolutely.
development process. So
there's a whole brands of scope that I don't own because I don't like their reticle. They have great glass, but I don't like their reticles. So yeah, so I'm with you there 100%. All right. Well, thank you very much, Link. Thanks for taking the time to, and I hope you come back again as a guest, because, just in terms of technical input and information from the point of view of a scope manufacturer, it's really great and very educational for all of us, since, we buy the products and we don't necessarily know what are the technical and engineering and, manufacturing issues that can come up, and we may say, hey, we want to have, like when we're discussing about illumination, there's a lot of things that we don't know that is a challenge that seems simple to put in, but in reality isn't quite as simple once you explain it.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks again, and I want to give a thanks out to everybody who joined us in the chat. And just to remind you again, keep an eye out at moondogindustries.com/contest. I'll be posting up the next contest in the next day or so. And I want to congratulate all the winners and to everybody who entered the contest. And also, I want to thank Hillbilly, if he's still out there, for helping me from a technical standpoint and
No
doing these live
problem,
streams, since I don't do them very often myself. All right, everyone, have a good night. God bless, and you guys stay safe out there. Moondog out.
Bye.